summer. We had an exciting offering this summer that a few of our educators took us up on and went to the International Society for Technology in Education to become certified ISTE teachers. We do have one of them here tonight, and I'd love to share a little write-up from a little interview that I did of her that will be in the next superintendent update. So the ISTE certification for educators was designed to help educators take the next steps in using technology for learning to move from simply integrating technology to catalyzing active, high-impact learning. The ISTE certification gives our teachers the skills they need to lead high-impact learning using the technology we've already invested in our district. We're excited to see the return on instruction because the ISTE certification course prioritized pedagogy and showed our team how to use technology to increase student engagement and achievement. We appreciate the time and talents of Jennifer Olson, John Kozlowski, and Genevieve Noasad, and Jen is here tonight. And it's going to be my pleasure to spotlight them not only this evening, but in the next superintendent update. Mrs. Olson has 22 years of teaching experience, 17 of which are in the Lebanon School District. She has been a second, third, and fourth grade teacher, as well as an upper multi-age teacher for LES. Currently, she's in her 5th year as a STEM technology teacher at the elementary school. She said that going to the ISTE conference made her realize how quickly the needs are changing in the job market and how as teachers we need to prepare all our students for the changes that we can't even imagine. She was quoted, "Being fluent in technology is not optional for our students. To ensure they have a seat at the table, all students need to be exposed to coding, creative problem solving, and all areas of STEM early in their education." Jen wants all her students to feel like studying coding in STEM fields in high school and beyond is open to them. She says, as a society, we need the backgrounds and values of people creating the technology to reflect society at large. When asked what she enjoys about teaching in Lebanon, she enthusiastically replied, "I absolutely love teaching in Lebanon. It's such a warm and supportive community. It was a great place to raise my own 2 children." And she also really appreciates the love of outdoors and agriculture that the students at LES bring. Jen, thanks for your time and dedication over the summer, and congratulations on your ISTE certification.
Thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to say?
I just wanted to thank the board for their support of me and my fellow educators to have this opportunity because it was a great one, and it continues because of the connections we've made and the networks we're part of now. So, thanks.
Thank you, Jen. Congrats.
So it's taken me about 20 of these board meetings to figure out I don't need to walk back and forth 3 times, so I'm going to do everybody that we're celebrating and then do the gifts at once. So the next one goes to someone who was instrumental in organizing and facilitating the celebrations of the Lyman Memorial High School 100th year anniversary. Barbara Wenglowski worked tirelessly with the committee to plan a full year of special events. Recently, Barbara delivered to me a 330-page book titled A Lasting Legacy, George W. Lyman Memorial High School, Moving Forward, Looking Back. And the book details Lyman's rich history and is a must-read. As I reflect on all Barbara did to highlight the lasting legacy of Lyman, I am in awe. She put in more hours than you can imagine. She was at every meeting, event, and celebration. I'm sure there were bouts of fatigue or moments of stress, but Barbara never showed it. She led these functions with grace and humility. Thank you, Barbara, for so proudly celebrating our high school. Your extraordinary efforts are appreciated and will be remembered forever. And last but not least...
Jay has the book to show.
Oh, Jay does have the book.
Yes.
Kind of pass it around.
That'd be great. Thank you.
I also have a copy in my office. If you want to take it and borrow it for some time, you're more than welcome to do that.
If there's somebody listening that wants to get a hold of a copy, how could they do that?
Well, right now, all 130 copies have been sold. So you can send me an email at mhs100years@gmail.com. And I'll start a waiting list. But
Great.
at this point, I'm not sure who I will.
Okay, thank you. They can inquire
Limited edition.
Limited edition,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
So as I was saying, we're always looking for opportunities to recognize our student learners for demonstrating leadership in our schools and in the community. And tonight we have Sadie Seagrieve, that as part of her community engagement senior project, Sadie hosted a family move-in night open to the public on Friday, September 29th at 6 p.m. right here in our Lyman Auditorium. Through her efforts, Sadie has demonstrated several of the dispositions outlined in our portrait of a graduate. She's been an effective communicator by creating flyers and working with building principals to share this information with our families. 60 people attended the family movie night, and she made $695 that will be used to purchase and donate school supplies for our own kindergarten classrooms at LES. This, to me, highlights Sadie as a responsible citizen as well. Additionally, I feel that this event fit nicely with our district emphasis on inclusion and belonging. Coming together as one to enjoy this type of event is what makes our district such a special place. Thank you, Sadie. To Jen.
You got it.
Congratulations, Sadie. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate your efforts. Thank you for all you've done. Thanks, Jen. Sarah already signed it. Oh, thank you.
I should be. Class of 65.
Okay, we'll move on to our communication. We do have a couple letters of resignation this evening.
All right, the first letter of resignation comes from Jessica Beeker, who's an 8th grade science teacher at LMS. Her last day was October 9th. She'd like to thank the board for the opportunity to work in Lebanon for the past year. She's enjoyed getting to know the students, their families, the staff, and the Lebanon community as a whole. She's excited to take with her and apply the skill set she's acquired during her teaching career and pursue her next professional chapter. And the next letter of resignation is from Christopher Moore. Chris is a special education teacher at Lyman Memorial High School. His last day of employment will be October 13th.
Okay. Thank you. At this point in the evening, we'll come to our public participation according to the Lebanon bylaws. The board will allocate up to 30 minutes with each individual speaker allocated up to 2 minutes. At this time, are there any members of the public who wish to speak this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to our consent agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by John, seconded by Nicole. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. And that passes unanimously. Okay, student representatives report. Hello, Avery.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday,
Happy
Avery.
birthday, yeah. I'm the big 1-7 today.
Wow.
So, starting with LES, I heard that, so one of my teammates, she has a little brother named Cole. He's in 2nd grade this year. Super cute kid, but he went to the open house. He said he had a really good time. He enjoyed all the people there. Miss Scorso, sorry, I completely forgot your name for a second. Miss Scorso helped me inform that the mini mutter was a really big hit. I forgot that happens like this time of year. I never got to do it, I wish I did. But I'm glad it went well. And then the students earned a Spirit Day for positive behavior. Did they have that yet? They did? Did they enjoy it? They loved it. Good. I would have loved it. That seems fun. And then on to LMS. The open house there was also a really big hit. I asked Mr. Orsini. He said it was a lot of fun. There was really good bits of information. There was also kind of a social hour just for the parents and the students to get to know the teachers a little bit better. And LJHS inducted 12 8th graders on the night of September 21st. My stepbrother was one of them. Oh, so sorry. One of them. I'm very proud of him. And then on to Miss Beeker, her letter of resignation. My brother was in her class and she made waffles on the last day. And I thought that was a really good way to like end the day and kind of hit off her teaching career at Lebanon like with a bang. And then the open house for Lyman went really well. I ended up going to the end of it, and all the teachers said that a bunch of people came. The food was really good there. At least I snacked some while I could. And then there was a walk for the passing of Brandon Amia that happened over the summer. That went really well. I think they made a lot of money. Michaela Pierce is doing a great job organizing all of that for her senior project. The fall drama started. My math teacher is actually the director of the drama of the play, and he said it's doing really good. Their sets have been working really well. He's been working with the construction class in period 6 to help cut out all of his designs and make it come to life. And then Contempt has started. They're going to be performing at Homecoming on October 21st, so I'm excited to hear them. James Apicelli, his senior project, he's doing a walk with OCD, right?
Yep.
OCD, I'm very excited to attend that. That's going to be on October 15th. If any of you guys want to come, what time is it?
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock, if any of you guys want to walk. Where does it start? 12.
Here at the track.
Yeah. Is it just fully on the track?
Yep.
Okay. I will be going there, so if any of you guys would like to attend, please feel free to join. And then we just got a new pig at Lyman. Wow, cool. We got a new pig. Her name's Mabel. She really likes marshmallows. I really want to get a video of Mabel eating marshmallows. Because that seems so cute. And then also one of our sheep, I don't remember her name, but she's giving birth at this point right now. She's in labor.
Wow.
So I'll see how that goes. My volleyball teammate, Laurelyn Boyer, she was coming on and off the court, checking the camera to make sure she wasn't giving birth while she wasn't looking. But I really hope that goes well, and overall, very good month.
Great. Thank you, Avery.
That's exactly.
There it is.
Yeah. Come to some of the volleyball games. Our senior night is next Monday.
Oh, great.
You tried. It was against Griswold. Griswold's a hard school. Okay. They're a hard school.
Thank you, Avery.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, one better than last week.
One better than last week.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
And by the way, Mabel is not for
Consumption?
Mabel will not.
Clarification.
Is it Mabel gonna make it?
Yes.
Awesome.
That's great.
That's all second semester stuff.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Not for consumption.
All right, we'll move on to our reports of our committees. Let's start with Finance. Brian?
Finance, yes, we met on September 26th. Went through just a couple of lingering things, the safety and security grant update. Talked a little bit more about some of the emergency repairs and where we were at with that. The catch basin work got all caught up. We talked about putting that, adding catch basins actually to the annual budget versus a capital because it's a yearly expense. So we thought that might be more appropriate. But the rest were all clean and inspected. The 23 final report, nothing changed there, but Mr. Gonzalez did send a request over to the Board of Finance to have the excess funding moved to our non-lapsing account. And nothing at that point to update on the 24 budget. We talked a bit about the audit, prioritizing for our capital budget. We were moving, that's we were talking a little bit more about maybe moving some stuff to the operating versus the capital. It just made more, it seemed to make more sense because it was ongoing. But did agree that we should speak with the Board of Finance to let them know and garner their feedback. Because obviously it would increase some line items within the operating budget, and some of them significantly. Mr. Gonzalez gave us an update on the minimum wage increases, and there were 3 policies that were referred from the policy subcommittee, and we tabled those until our next meeting to have Ms. Valerie present with us so that she can give us some of her thoughts and ideas, because she has a thought of combining, dividing and conquering. So that was our report, or that was our meeting.
Thanks, Brian. Any questions for Finance? No? All right. Thank you for all that work on that committee, Brian.
My pleasure.
Nicole, Facilities. Let's start with Facilities, if you don't mind.
So facilities met this evening. First on the agenda was the LMS gym painting. They reached out to 3 different companies. Only one Scholar came back with a price of $6,320 for the one wall stenciling. So we will be continuing to solicit other bids or estimates. Next, summer projects, not too much work there because John was spending a lot of time working on the fire marshal punch list, so he will be continuing summer projects in the fall and winter. Lyman roof, Tremco needs to come out and give us a solid estimate, which includes the block repair. And then finally, the LES gym floor drains have been repaired, and we're awaiting Hoffman Architecture to get back to us to the next steps.
All right, thank you. Any questions for facilities? Okay, how about enrollment, Nicole?
Okay, enrollment met this evening as well. First item we talked about were class sizes. So at the elementary level, it seems like kindergarten and fourth grade have high numbers, but nothing alarming, so we'll just continue to watch those. The middle school is pretty stagnant with some low numbers, nothing red flag there. And then the high school, depending on which classes are offered, we have classes as high as 27 in English and classes as low as like 4 in the new nursing program. But again, overall, there are no red flags for class sizes, so we'll just continue to monitor them. Next on the agenda, we're sending towns. Franklin is a current sending school. Canterbury is a potential sending school, and we are still reaching out to Columbia to see if there's interest in us being a potential school for them as well. The pre-K, the full-day pre-K program, our next steps are an East Con consultant will be coming out tomorrow to begin setting up and having a series of meetings. And we still have an anticipated opening of the 2024-25 school year. And then finally, we talked about attracting programs. So we have the new courses, the CNA course, the landscape course, the drone course, and Jay was talking about possibly getting some interest in an EMT course, a para-education class, and then highlighting things such as like the AgLeet program where ag students, not only as athletes getting recognized, but also the ag students if they're in drama or musicals or band or anything like that, just highlighting ag students who not only perform in ag, but in other areas of the school as well. And that's it for enrollment.
Any questions on enrollment? No? All right, thanks, Nicole. Maureen, policy.
As you can see, policy met on the 12th and the 26th. We've been pushing hard to finish. I would like to point out that when we began working on upgrading the policy in the policy manual, it was Dawn who said we should go through the whole manual. Sure was. She started it.
I remember that.
And then immediately got off of the policy.
Sure
You may notice that we've gone through all of our student policies. When you look at any of the numbers we have left, they are non-students. We made sure we concentrated on that. We also concentrated on not using those stupid numbering system with .22 and .311. We've started each group at the 1,000, 2,000, whatever. So when I'm not here anymore, we can continue that. I did vote against joining CABE, but I'm very glad that we did because we've used CABE quite a little bit here to go through all these policies that we're finishing up. So, and we did refer a few policies to other committees. We've gone through all of the ones that we wanted to repeal and the optional. We've gone through the recommended. There's some that are tabled for further information, and our next group to tackle will be the mandated ones, which should not be hard at all. And hopefully I'll have another meeting or two before the next regular board meeting when I will not be serving. Thank you.
Any questions for Maureen? Well, now that you brought that up, really, thank you for all of this work, Maureen. I can't even imagine what condition our policies could be in without your guidance and leadership on this. We'll speak more.
I'm a word person.
I know you are.
I have a shirt that says, "I am silently correcting your grammar." And I have been doing it to
Silently
all
or
of you
not
people.
so silently.
All of you.
But
and your papers, too.
Yeah, that's very true. But we will talk more about that next month when our 3 board members who will no longer be board members with us will come and visit us for a November board meeting. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that, Maureen. Alexis, negotiations.
Negotiations did not meet. However, last meeting, we had reported we had a tentative contract. Happy to report, it's an action item. We will be voting on that tonight in executive session.
Awesome.
Okay. John, superintendent evaluation.
No report this month. Superintendent evaluation.
Okay, more to be said about that and all of that work that you've done on that committee as well. So thank you very much. Danelle, curriculum.
We did not meet, no report. Our next meeting is October 24th at 4 o'clock.
Thank you. And Dawn, safety and security.
I'm glad you started on that side of the
I know.
table because I did not want to follow her report. That was way too good. And now I'm scared of Maureen secretly judging how I speak. We met this evening and had lovely discussions about safety and security. We also spoke about the safety and security grant that was received and how to prioritize funds and trying to do all of the things that we would like to do. We also spoke about, or briefly about, an annual report that Andy submits, or the district submits to DEMIS on November 1st. It's probably twice as thick as Maureen's pink binder over there.
Oh, this is just one of my policy binder notes.
Okay, so picture both of hers, if there are two, and that's what he does for November 1st. And it's not a recreation, it's not recreating the wheel, but they do have to go through everything and make sure that everything is up to date, so it's a big project. And other than that, safety and security.
Thanks, Dawn.
Sure.
Any questions?
I have a question now for Dawn.
Go ahead.
Done with Dawn, may I say something?
Sure.
I have something for curriculum, and Mr. Appicelli knows about it. I have a telescope about this big that's being donated to the school, and Jay's excited about it.
Fantastic.
So it will be delivered, and we can have an astronomy course.
Oh, look at that.
It'll meet at night.
I'm sure that science department will put it to good use.
Absolutely.
As soon as I can get it on a truck and bring it over.
He's gonna love it.
Oh, that's right.
That's awesome.
He's gonna love it.
Well, thanks, Maureen. Okay, we'll move on to our administrators' reports. Are there any administrators who wish to add to their reports this evening? Hello, Jess.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Jeff.
Good to see you tonight.
You too.
I'm
too.
happy to report that we had our open house on the 28th, and we had over 80% of our families come join us that night. We added a new element to our open house, and had a presentation to review curriculum, social emotional learning at LES, and also the important safety features that our school provides too. Also, continuing this year, our open house, we have community resources like Child First and emergency mobile crisis in case families have some questions or could seek resources. So there's more of a community resource there. We're happy to invite families and parents to join us for parent-teacher conferences coming up in November, so we're starting to talk a little bit more about that as we continue to work this fall to collect beginning of the year data on our students. We'll be able to share that information along with student strengths and what our targets will be at those conferences too. And just some other highlights, we are continuing with PBIS. We had our first assembly, and the students already earned their first Spirit Day, which was Hat Day. Also, our teachers had a great day on this past Friday where they concentrated on restorative practices during the Professional Development Day. and implementing the new social studies standards. So busy for sure at LES, but going well. Great start to the year.
Thanks, Jess.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey, Jen.
So, my report really focuses on two of the building goals that we have and kind of the progress we've made thus far. I think the first one, in my opinion, is the most important one, trying to make our faculty, students, staff, and administration look forward coming to school each day, feel respected, and have a strong sense of belonging. I think we made a lot of good headway this first month, considering how quickly it went by. One of the things that you saw in the picture in the report are the pictures that we had the older kids make the signs that put on the fifth grade lockers. That was a big hit for the fifth grade team of teachers to see their older kids that they saw 3 or 4 years ago coming down and recognizing the younger kids. Kids got a sense of belonging right away from that. Another big highlight was Spirit Week. My personal favorite part of Spirit Week was when we had the age day where you have to dress up as either a baby or an old person, and I have an old person mask that I've had from my parents from many, many years ago that I used to scare my sister with, and so when she showed up to drop off her son and I was in the mask, I attacked her in her car, and she immediately told me that she was going to get me fired. But then when we went on to the fifth grade recess, and actually all the recesses, but fifth grade in particular, they really got a kick out of it, and that kind of spearheaded a lot of fun that went all the way through until pandered in that Friday night. Our attendance improvement committee met this week. That's kind of our next big chunk of something that we want to tackle, developing a method of reaching out to our families for our students that are chronically absent and developing a system of resources that we can use to make sure that they come to school on a regularly. And then also we had a great PD session last Friday on restorative practices, which I think is a key aspect. One of the things that I've come to find out in my first month here with students is that the behaviors are great. We have not had a lot of big issues. We don't have those vaping issues. I can't report any single fights. But in general, as what happens often in middle school, kids sometimes are not nice with one another, and those types of behaviors are best tackled in the classroom with their teachers and as part of a restorative process. So I think being able to share some of the behavior data at our faculty meeting on Thursday and then segue that with the PD that we had on Friday with restorative practices is very timely, and teachers are already reporting to me this week that they've used some of what they've learned and that's had a positive outcome on some of those behavioral issues that are at a tier 1 level, if you will. The second building goal that I focused on was engaging a variety of cognitively engaging student-centered learning experiences. I think the most productive part of that I've had this year so far is the opportunity to have goal-setting meetings with the faculty and getting a fresh set of eyes on the goal-setting process, writing SLOs and IAGDs, and encouraging the teachers to take risks, try new things, and break down. I use this CCT rubric for effective teaching whenever I do my evaluations, so to be able to share that with the teachers and show how to be an exemplary teacher as opposed to a proficient teacher that focuses on really making things student-centered and student-led. And so I just put an example of an activity that Jillian Young had done of her pictures. I thought this was, you can see every single face on her in this picture. Certainly an example of a cognitively engaged classroom. I have to kick her out of the building at night. We're between 6 and 8 o'clock at night because they tell her that the principal has to be the last person to leave the building, so get out, so I can go home. It's been a lot of work, so I thought it was important to recognize her as part of this report as well.
Thanks, Seth.
Thank you.
I know you're going to all be very happy because my report will be very, very short and brief.
I got something from Mark Morello. It's about a Lyman graduate from last year, Magna Carpenter. She is having a phenomenal year as a freshman for her Division II school, Damon University in Amherst, New York. So Mark sent me this back at the end of September. And on September 29th, she played she's a midfielder. She scored 4 goals and has 3 assists so far. So she's just really, tearing it up there, doing a great job representing Lyman well. Just to let you know that in our effort to try and continue to grow Lyman, tomorrow, we're going to another school for an open house in the evening. So I will be entertaining the students at Sales School tomorrow. October 18th, Franklin's going to be coming here. So the great thing about them coming here, and Lisbon will be coming later that week or possibly early next week, is that we're going to have all those baby lambs out there. And those are such a hit when you have kids come around here and, they get to, see all the baby lambs and, they make all the noise that baby lambs make and everybody loves that. So it's a great hook for us. It's fantastic.
Get that.
Barrows, we're actually going to Barrows, the STEM Academy, because Barrows has kids from the towns that we pull from. So we'll have a booth set up there and interact with kids. And you heard, some of the other schools that have their Spirit Week. Our Spirit Week is next week. We're looking forward to that. And actually, that's one of my memories of Chad back there, coming to visit Lyman during one of our Spirit Weeks. And he came on a Friday when we had the hall decorating and our pep rally. And I just remember, being around for that. I thought that was great that we could have, gotten here in Lebanon at that time. It's a great time. We'll make sure we get lots of pictures. But, the hall decorating I always think is so cool when they have their themes and, the kids will stay here till 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night trying to make sure that their hallway is perfect. So they get those points towards the Spirit Cup that we give out at the end of the week. So,
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
that's my goal this year, right?
Go ahead,
So
Nicole.
the reports were great. I just want to kind of remind the principals that I would love to see more inter-school activities going on. I know that basketball is approaching, so it would be great to see the middle school and the high school, you come to our game and we'll come to yours kind of a thing. I wish we could have done it with soccer, but I think we were a little too late on that one. But just any activity that involves the schools connecting would be so awesome.
Dawn, did you have something you wanted to share? Oh, okay. Okay. All right, thank you. We'll move along to our report of the superintendent, which I see has to do with the SEALS presentation.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue. So we do have some staff members who will be presenting on the SEALS program. I think it's important to bring back to the board and to the community to celebrate the programs that we have in our district. And I know that this program has morphed a little bit from being referred to as the SCALES program at the elementary school to now the SEALS program. So I'd love to call the staff up and have them kind of take the lead in sharing with you what the SEALS program looks like this year and give you an opportunity to maybe ask any questions that you have. I'm passionate about doing everything we can to keep our Lebanon learners in our district. I think it's important for them to have that sense of belonging and to be able to learn with their peers and with staff that they are familiar with, and this is one example of how we're able to do that. So I'll turn it over to you.
Great, thank you. Does the board want us to move this projector, maybe so everybody can see? Because I don't think Nicole and... Was that okay there?
You good?
Can you see it? Okay. I just thought it was kind of...
But now I can't.
Thank you.
So last year, we were doing some adjusting. We have 2 separate classroom scales in the ABA room, and as we were doing class assignments, we were seeing a change in the students' needs, and we came up with some help from EastCon of our special education alternative learning site. And Tiffany Anderson is one of the teachers there. And the mission there is to assist exceptional learners who require an alternative setting for academic achievement, social, emotional, and behavioral skills, and/or the life skills necessary to reach their fullest potential.
So I can talk a little bit more about entrance criteria for the SEALS program. So a student would be identified as needing special education services. And then from assessment data, it would determine that the student would also benefit from social emotional, adaptive functioning skills, and behavior IEP goals. The student would require that specialized instruction and support on those adaptive functioning, the behavioral skills, emotional regulation skills, and also the students' perhaps social emotional functioning or behavioral functioning might interfere with academic functioning in the classroom. And so the student would require this individualized support throughout the day, and that's what this program. FBA, functional behavior assessment, is one of the tools that is often utilized within the skills program, as well as a BIC, behavior intervention plan too. The behavior intervention plan, you take the information that you glean from the FBA, and that drives the the BIC, the behavior intervention plan. So we want to replace that behavior, so we're going to develop a SMART goal to decrease that behavior and increase that replacement behavior for students. And so those BICs are created with the team's input and implemented systematically and along with comprehensive class direction. And this is another key component of some of the behavioral pieces that we take into account when we're coming up with behavior intervention.
So this is a snapshot of one of the teacher schedules. So this is 2025, and again, the goal of the skills program is always to be user-friendly for our students. So this will be possible and for the students. Spend time in their own teaching classroom and accomplish skills program for their service times. So these are their academic services, reading, writing, math, and social skills as well. And we expect instruction here in the setting, in their classroom throughout the day. That is essentially tolerated as long as they're doing safely in that setting. We have access to skills programs as well for breaks. These are different than reinforcement in the way that think about the break as very neutral so that it just leads to a safe or avoid work. It's really structured in a way that a break is really a break, and that's something that's a regular would earn when they prefer to work, whether that's an activity or an item, those are there's also a token of non-refusal program where students are earning either tickets or points, depending on what they are able to attend in that way. And they're able to exchange either those points or tokens or tickets for their preferred resource. Again, whether that's an item or an activity. So this is just a picture of one of the classrooms, and on the side there you can see kind of a snapshot of the student schedule. And so really they're not spending the whole day outside of their education setting, but they are receiving service hours for their academics inside, and then are needed to set and again, this is just a clarification of breaks versus incentives. So breaks and incentives are built in throughout the day. The amount of breaks and opportunities to earn incentives are as individualized as each student to be. Some students are not necessarily in a position to want to do that, and so they need those external reinforcers to really build that and shape the behaviors to eventually and then as long as students are safe and respectful and responsible, they can access their opportunities. So the main focus here is on positive reinforcement and positive behavior strategies that are evidence-based and help change behaviors. So we're really looking on teaching students from where they live and when they're doing well and celebrating after that. And work, phone versions, all of those things are specifically transformation. And then this is room 4. And room 4 is a little bit different than room 5 in that the profile of the students that we starting with this room might look a little different. So in room 4, students might have a range of adaptive skill deficits or communication, learning, behavioral and emotional needs, and these are supported through this individualized instruction. They come to
really important that pull out academic services in their IEP, or as it might be designed in their ready plan, but again, makes that possible part in their general education setting. So some of the special features of the report is that students might require special tools or other amounts of instruction. And so here's a couple of visuals that you see with all of our students on the visual schedule. So if you didn't have your phone or your smartwatch or your computer, and you didn't have any way of knowing what was on your agenda or what was next, you might start to connect a little. And so for students who maybe don't have a verbal repertoire and they're not able to explain to them what their day looks like, a visual schedule helps to alleviate some of that anxiety and helps students to transition throughout their day using a visual reference. And then a token board is kind of more of a living task support. So again, if you don't know that in 15 minutes to get to the break, then have this token board that show you, almost like you're watching a movie and you see the little red line go across, you know how much time is left. A similar idea here, so students know that endpoint is in sight and what they need to do in order to earn their papers. And then GTI has been something that collaboration with East Con has been implemented and is up and running for a few of our students. And so discrete instruction is one of those modalities of instruction that you might see before, as well as task analysis, tactile environment teaching, direct instruction. There are many different ways that we can adapt what they're going to need student learning needs. But so GTI is kind of the one, and so this is a teaching modality that breaks that terminal response goal, the endpoint goal, into really small training targets where we're gradually building up to that big scale. So here's just a really basic example. If the terminal response of want students count to 10, we first want them to count to 3, and we repeat the instruction of counting to 3 over and over and over again until they've mastered that. Then we might move to counting to 5, and then counting to 8, and eventually counting to 10. And then there's adaptive and alternative communication, and we think of this as, a talker, these devices, an electronic device, but that is not always the case. Adaptive communication just means a way of communicating that is not verbal. So you use emojis on your phone, you're using ANZ. So you can use something as simple as a core board, which is this little printed picture on the left side here. Some basic communication needs such as stop, go, help, more, all done. And then also something as simple as sign language. So here's a few examples of simple sign that we use in our students. And then some of our students do have the electronic talker device with them as well. So just some communication strategies for our students.
Any questions? Answer them now, or you can always email us at any time.
Anyone have any questions? No? I just want to say, I know you're speaking my language, but I'm just curious if anybody else had any questions, but that was a very comprehensive, quick, I appreciate that presentation, and that was a great, thank you for that. I'm hoping that it was comprehensible, from outside the education world, but that was great. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
And I just wanted to say thank you to Dawn and Jess for their continued oversight and support of this very important program. Kind of a welcome to Tiffany. She did join us new this year in Lebanon, and she's doing a great job, and we really appreciate all of her efforts. It totally takes a team, and this is only part of the larger team at the elementary school that affords us the opportunity to have things like this in our district. I think it's really important that we keep these things, and I think it's equally as important to continue to communicate when changes are made. So not only did they make this presentation to us, they've made this presentation to the teaching team at LES so that they're fully aware of what's going on even within our own school. So thank you for all of that.
Nice job. Thank you.
Thank you.
right, do we have a health update, Mr.
Yes,
Gonzalez?
as everybody's settling back into their places, I know that I have backed off a little bit in terms of the communication around COVID-19 as was allowed by the state public health. I still, just so you know, do send communications to individual buildings when there are cases so that our teachers are aware. I do not communicate to our community other than by continuing to maintain the COVID-19 dashboard, which is available for all families and community members on our website. Just giving you a quick snapshot. So far to date, we have 13 cases at the high school, 4 at the middle school, and 2 at the elementary school in terms of student cases. Staff cases, we had 8 at both the high school and middle school, and 1 at the elementary. And this was actually from last Friday. I know that we did have a case over the weekend that was shared with me as well. But we are in a much better place in terms of our understanding and management of this. We are prepared to increase mitigation strategies if need be. Other than a bubble that we did have at the high school, there haven't been too much in the way of concern. But I will continue to update the board as necessary and make changes within the schools if needed.
Thank you. All right, safety and security grant.
Yeah, so we did receive some positive news that we were given an award from the state as part of the safety and security grant process. This is something that we've applied for a couple times and had no luck. It is a very competitive process. As you can imagine, a lot of districts are looking to make upgrades around safety and security. So very grateful for the opportunity to be able to do some things, and I stress the word some. The grant award is not anywhere near what we need to do all of the things that we would like to, but it's better than not getting the award, and it's a starting point, so I'm happy with that. Interestingly, as I mentioned how competitive this process is, the grant award was only for 2 of the 3 schools in our district, and I feel strongly that each of our schools need to be treated equally with the security enhancements that we will move forward with. So the funding that came from the state will have to go to the elementary and high school, but I'm working closely with our safety and security subcommittee, and we'll be bringing solutions to how we are able to do something across our entire district. So the total amount that was awarded from the state was $38,775, and we have a local match responsibility of just over $27,000, so a total of $65,800.
Any questions on that? All right, thank you very much. Move on to our finance report, 23-24 budget. Hi, Val.
Hey, Val.
Hi, Val.
Okay. 23-24 budget. I put a little update at the bottom. I'm sorry for the looks to be upside down.
Yes.
Probably looks perfectly fine to you guys. It's just a mess of numbers anyways. Well, if you have any questions, let me know. There, no huge changes in the month of September. We did pay our very large transportation bill. Every year we have an opportunity to pay it before September 30th and take a 1% discount. So we do that. But no major changes. Any questions about operating while we're here?
No? All right.
Still fairly new. Then we move on to our facility tracking list, which is now 2 pages long. A lot of our finalized payments for summer work are coming through. So you'll see we sent the final payment for line striping and crack sealing. There was an electrical repair made and paid for all in the same month at LMS. And
we also had a door repair at the elementary school. If you look on the second page there, you can see at the bottom, our balance right now in September for SIP is $47,000. We started at $119,000, so a lot of the summer work sucks up a lot of that balance. Any questions about facilities, capital, SIP? All right, I did take some time to make our technology and athletics capital report a little prettier. Kind of looks like the other ones now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, similar format, at the top you'll see the beginning balance, so technology capital started the year after the approved budget with $100,712.10. Lots of projects going on there with Chromebooks, licenses, all sorts of stuff. The ending balance is $55,000. Right below is our athletics capital. Started the year after our approved budget at $51,000. The locker room project went through. The total project was $37,000, but you'll see here allocated to athletics was $21 because we had $16,000 come out of non-passing. And so the ending balance is $29,000 and some change in athletics.
What is left to spend in athletics? Like, what did we?
Project-wise?
Yeah, where are the other projects that we were going to?
A lot of the projects are really large projects.
So there's nothing right now.
So I'm not sure, I'd be interested to see what kind of information we gather in the new budget season as well. But we've pretty much just steadily received a $30,000 allotment for years.
So we don't have any idea what we're planning on spending that on?
Well, I know there was talk about the donkey.
Yeah, the mule.
Lambs, donkeys.
Pigs, dogs and cats, right?
Kind of a mobile.
A mobile press box.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But that was, yeah, I wasn't sure what was going to be done with.
Right, this remaining, right. I think we were so nervous too about the project with the locker room and the time frame and the funding with that. And then 7-1 came in and we got $30,000 more, and I'm not sure what other small projects are left.
Maybe we could get updated on that next month.
Yeah, if I may, I can definitely get an update, but that is reinforcing the struggle of the amount that we get. The projects that we're looking to undertake that are not normal operating costs. The amount of money that we get for athletics capital does not even touch it.
I totally agree with that. Just if we have it, we may as well be using it on some, there has to be something that we would be using it for. Danelle?
Just thinking back to our tours of the schools, was there ever talk of redoing the middle school locker rooms?
There has been talk, but it's not on this capital list, but we can revisit it.
I think it was brought up during one of the tours.
It was.
It definitely was, for multiple years.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Are there any sports that require new uniforms, or are they all pretty much updated?
They come out of operating. Yeah, so they come out of athletic supplies. These are kind of like larger projects and things like that.
Danelle?
Another thought for that was we looked at redoing the middle school floor to look more like Lyman's, and there's an added expense for that, so maybe that money could go towards
That's another option, yeah. The only problem is we haven't put that on our capital list yet, and we talked about it to put it on next year's list, so that has not been approved. It's not on the approved capital list, so we'd have to jump through a couple extra hoops, but it's not out of the question. Dawn?
Can you remind me, because I can't remember, the track?
Yeah, that's on there, it's just.
Hundreds of thousands.
Lots and lots of money. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, all right. Anything else on that? All right, thanks, Val. We'll go on to non-lapsing.
Non-lapsing, yeah, so, we made the repairs and the payments are complete for the sprinkler system. If you look at the bottom, we have, our balance is $189,000, but then there's a little projected balance there to wrap up. We still have, $16,000 for the locker room hasn't actually hit non-lapsing yet, so I didn't feel comfortable reporting it here, but that's coming out. And then we still have this emergency repair for the masonry blocking in non-lapsing in case we need it to make those repairs. I know there's different conversations going on now about that anyways, but should those two shake out the way that they're on this list, we'll be down to $169,000.
Okay. Any questions on that? Nope. All right, thanks a lot, Val.
And then, if you don't mind, I just want to do a food service update.
Sure.
I just want to talk about our food service program. We had a really awesome event last week at the elementary school, and we were able to do taste testing of butternut squash from Bluebird Hill right down the street. And we did smoothies, which were really fun. So each school, Carlos reached out and got a grant to get like big commercial smoothie machines at each school, and we received them. So we made strawberry apple smoothies, which were an absolute hit with the little kids. It was hilarious. One of the kids at one point ran up and he was like, "You have to give me this recipe." Strawberries, apples, milk. But it was great. So those smoothies are going to be now served as an option with our fun lunch. The kids have an option to get alternative lunches, so because they're not a whole meal in themselves, they'll be a part of the fun lunch. But we'll also be using the butternut squash in our meals, and Carlos has done a great job of buying some local ingredients. We recently bought some squash from the Student Farm right down the street too, so I'm really happy to see some of these local vendors, local farmers coming through our program. And at that event, it was really neat because Carlos reached out to UConn Convention, and we were able to get some people there from the Connecticut, Grown for Connecticut Kids. So it was Connecticut Grown for Connecticut Kids Week, so it kind of kicked off the program, and so they were really helpful in going around and talking to kids about the squash and the food, and we had all the veggies sitting out there, and there were lots of questions, and it was awesome. So we'll get you some pictures of that stuff. And I just wanted to let you know that that was really fun.
Awesome, thank you, Val. All right, we'll move along to our new business. Quite a few deletions. Is there anything you want to say about new business, Maureen?
No, I think I did pretty much in my policy subcommittee report.
Okay, any questions on any of the first readings? Okay.
I will make a motion that we delete the first 20.
Second.
First reading to delete them. I do not believe that we really need a second reading.
Okay.
We've gotten, most of those that would be the ones that we repealed, some were so old, they were from the last, the 90s, et cetera. And the rest of them were pretty much the optionals. If we could move those 20 right off the books, I would be quite happy.
Only.
We can make a motion to amend the agenda to add that action item.
Right, because it's not listed under action items.
All right.
Maureen?
I make a motion that we add that, the deletion of these 20 policies to an action item.
Okay, so let's just clarify. So the motion is, we are going to amend the, motion to amend the agenda.
Okay, to add an action item.
to take the items listed under new business, numbers 1 through 20.
Correct.
And place them in action items.
Why don't you do just all 40? and we can discuss
3,
them?
because the others have to be
No.
first reading?
No, the 36 through 40 would also be included in that, because those are first and only readings.
Go ahead, Alexis.
First and only, excuse me.
The motion is just to act on amending the agenda, to
Right.
act on policy deletions, and you can
Yeah.
stop there. We can vote to
Yes.
add it to the agenda, and then you can make your motion at that time,
Okay.
as specific as you want.
I will have two things to add then, because first ones are deletions, and the other one is those updates that only need one reading.
Okay. So you make a motion to amend the agenda.
I make a motion to amend the agenda.
Second.
Okay, motion by Maureen, seconded by Nicole. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. That passes unanimously. Okay, what would you like to amend? What were the
I would
amendments?
like to add action item number 3 to delete the first 20 policies.
I'm wondering, do we need to make action items 3 through 20, or does it matter?
Oh heavens.
There's 3 and 4.
3 through 20. All right, so action item number 3 is to delete
1 through 20. We normally do them section at a time. If we're having deletions, I usually make the motion that we want to delete, 1 through 5.
Make the action item to act on, not necessarily to vote that way.
act on, this is the hard part, because it's like, we have to delete the first readings listed as 1 through 20. Can you think of a good way to word it, Mo?
How about if we remove those policies listed, first reading, delete?
Deletion of.
The deletion of first readings 1 through 20.
I mean, that makes sense in my head, but Mo might be like secretly.
Yes. All right.
It makes sense.
Are we confusing you,
Deletion of.
Hannah?
Deletion of.
Yeah. All right, we need to give her specifics. We're making a motion to amend,
Well, actually, no, I'm sorry.
We
So
already
we've
amended.
added action item 3, so now we've added to the agenda. So now we need to go back to action item 1 and act on resignations. And then we need to follow the path, and then when we get to 3, we can do what we need to do. We've just amended the agenda. All we've
yeah.
done
what
at
does
this
3
point,
say? What is the action that
act
3
on
is?
policy deletions.
Act on policy deletions.
That's all that action 3 is for.
Okay.
We're acting on policy, and we're done.
Start at 1.
But that's it.
Act on policy deletions. And then you have to make it action item number 4, correct?
Action item number 4 will be to act on first and only readings.
Got it. You got that, Hannah?
All right, so
All right,
then,
thank you. Let's go back to,
and so we have to go, we're amending adding.
any further discussion? Oh, wait, Mo made that. One, I'm sorry, I'm getting all confused here.
We got the
We
third
amended
one
the
added.
agenda. She's making a motion to add action items 3 and 4. Is
Yes.
anybody going to second that? Thank you, John. Any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Thank you, it passes unanimously. Got it, Hannah?
Got it.
All right, we're back to action item number 1, act on letters of resignation. We're now, are we still on? Yeah. Okay, good. Act on letters of resignation.
Motion to act on letters of resignation with regret.
Motion by Nicole, seconded by Danelle. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Are we acting on them, or are we approving them?
Approving them.
Okay.
Approving them, yep. That passes unanimously. All right, action item number 2, Act on out-of-state field trip for FFA National Convention. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve the state field trip for FFA National Convention, and they're going to, where?
Indianapolis. I'll second that.
Okay, the motion was to approve an out-of-state field trip for the FFA National Convention by Nicole, seconded by Maureen. Any discussion?
So just clarification, so we are paying for this? This is a Board of Ed line item, correct? It was made years ago.
It says on the application, it says
Total cost per student varies.
$100 to $400. Transportation cost $220.
Because I believe, Val, and correct me if I'm wrong, don't they have like $3,000-$4,000 that the Board of Ed gives them every year?
VOAG?
Yeah, for just the purpose of sending these kids to the convention every year. I just want to be clear, like, if they fundraise for it, we're paying for it.
Quick question. So your question's more on the money, but not approving?
Right, no, I just wanted to know what,
okay.
but I totally approve it.
Okay. So can we vote on approving it and get the answer after?
Sorry, this is slow.
All right, well, if whenever you get it, Val, just shout out, okay? Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the FFA out-of-state field trip, please raise your hand. That passes unanimously. Action item number 3.
I make a motion that we remove the first 20 policies from our manual.
Second.
Motion by Maureen, seconded by Nicole. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. That passes unanimously. Action item number 4.
I make a motion that we pass the policies 36 through 40 on the first reading.
Second.
Motion by Maureen, seconded by Nicole. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. And that also passes unanimously.
That means you guys get 21 through 35 next meeting.
That's right. Thank you.
And whatever else we do between now and then.
That's true. Alexis.
Motion to enter into executive session for the purpose of discussing negotiations with the Lebanon Administrators Association.
Second.
Inviting superintendent.
Motion by Alexis, seconded by Brian. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. That passes unanimously. We'll go into executive session at 8:50. Thank you.